Welcome back to Young Adults Real Talk, a safe place for young adults to talk about various topics from a Christian perspective. Today, we are going to be continuing on with our financial stability series, and we're going to be starting out with investing. Before we get started, I want to go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Daniela, and I will be hosting for today. And I'll also let my awesome panelists a chance to introduce themselves as well.
My name is Emmanuel, and I'll be chatting with you all today.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ebun.
Hi, everyone. My name is Patricia.
All right. Thanks, everyone. So I'm excited about this topic because this is going to get a little bit juicy, okay? So my first question for you guys is, well, first, do you invest? Do you think it's important to invest as a Christian?
I'll go. Yes, 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 and yes. The reason why I say yes is because there is a scripture that talks about, work when you are young, because when you get old or something like that, you would not be able to work and all that. So I feel like in order for you to survive at that time, you have to invest. You have to basically have things that, in our previous recording, Mr. Emmanuel talked about making money for you.
Yes.
And that's through investment. In order for your money to make money for you, you have to invest. So yes, I'm 100 when it comes to investing.
Yes, investment for a Christian, yes. So I know pop culture tells us investment is stocks, shares, real estate, and every material thing you're looking at. But look deeper. I'm a parent. I need to invest in my child so that tomorrow I can be looked after. Because we see a lot of things that happen that once the parent starts to age, some kids will be like, oh, nursing home all the way. I don't want to carry that burden. I don't want to do that. Now it's all about orientation. The parent you're sending to the nursing home to go get sick, probably get recovered, or from there, die and go meet the Creator, one time took care of you, took care from the point of your child to where you are right now. So invest in your children, invest in people around you intentionally, so that tomorrow, when you're down, because the stock market could crash, real estate could crash, all the material investment could crash. How are the people around you? People lost their jobs during the pandemic. If you didn't have quality people around you that you have touched their lives in terms of investment, in maybe you advise them, you sowed seed into their lives or whatever, a lot of people's life would have been in jeopardy right now. So we have to look at investment as a Christian from an all-around perspective.
I love that.
Yeah. Investment is a very, very powerful and a very broad word, very broad term. I never really understood what it meant until I became one. Investment, so many people have lost their lives trying to, in the pursuit of investment.
Absolutely.
So investment does not necessarily mean money. Like you said, investment could mean value, the value I pass down to a generation, to the people around me, my loved ones, my kids. That could be an investment. Investment could be what I invest in myself, the books I read, the friends I choose to keep. Investment could be on my health. I work out. I don't actually right now, but I choose to work out. I choose to eat healthy. Investment means a lot, but let's be very clear as far as investment pertaining to finances. The investment that creates wealth, it starts with money. It starts with having assets. Assets and money, they go hand in hand, but assets and money does not necessarily mean cash in bank. Assets and money can be relationship. Assets and money could be, I know how to talk. I know how to talk sweet. I'm a good marketer. I can sell ice in the Arctic. I can sell water in the middle of the river, right? All of these are assets. And it does not just come like that. It requires investment. There was one day a friend of mine told me, bro, I want to buy a Mercedes Benz. And he actually got it. And I was like, why are you telling me you want to buy a Mercedes Benz? Then I didn't have a car anyway. And he was still saying, I just told him, you know what? Let's go. Let me go show you something. I took him to a Mercedes Benz shop. And I showed him, we saw Mercedes Benz of 380,000 to as cheap as 40 or 50,000 Mercedes Benz. I was like, yeah, they are all here. They are meant to be sold. Go and make money and come and pick one. While we're there talking, we saw this dude that came to buy, I've forgotten the name of the Mercedes, but it was a nice car for his wife. This vehicle was $185,000 used. Used. And we're joking about the vehicle, and I was like, hey, he's Nigerian, but he's from Atlanta. He came to work in Dallas and saw the vehicle and came to look at the vehicle, and that's how we met on the lot. And we just joked, and then he bid us farewell, and then he left. After he left, I felt this emptiness inside of me. I told my friend, I was like, dude, do you know I just did what I would not ordinarily do? I never introduced myself. I never got beyond talking about this vehicle with this guy. So I may never meet this guy in my life ever again. This guy may never meet me ever in his life again. This guy may hold the key to my success tomorrow. I may hold the key to this guy's success tomorrow, and I just let this guy walk away. And the guy was like, so about the car. He just ignored what I just said and was talking about Mercedes. And right then and there, I was like, this guy does not understand what it means to invest in relationships. This guy does not know what it means, right? So that's an example of what investment means. Like just having to build a relationship with that dude that day, maybe exchange contact, that could be an investment that I'll be reaping in 10 years, right? There was a day I was driving by and I saw a particular information about something I wanted. I was like, man, should I call this person? I just picked up my phone. I do it. I called the person and we got talking. She wasn't being responsive at first. She was being cold and all of that. And then I started giving them some information. It was a real estate investment deal. I started giving them information about the real estate market, where they were operating. And she's supposed to be a realtor, but it's like she does not even understand her domain, her turf, right? By the time I finished talking, she was trying to book appointments with me, right? And I'm still working on that deal, but if that deal goes through, like that's a deal that would easily run into hundreds of thousands of dollars. You understand? So if I never invested in my communication skill, like let me tell you, it's hard for me to communicate sometimes just because of my accent, right? And I was still able to pull this off with this person. So its investment goes way beyond the money. The monetary part is usually the end of the line that we see, but we don't really see, there's so many machines that is working together to eventually bring out that monetary part, right? Yep. And then, like I said, some people are so good with this thing that they've also take that money to make a machine that now works for itself and in turn brings more money. But we just see them, they don't go to work, they are having private planes, they have yachts, and we're all like, oh Lord, open the wealth for me. Like
they've worked. Like
they've put in so, man, you don't want to stand with some of these investors. They will intimidate you with the way they market themselves. They will sell this carpet for you like this thing just came from heaven. I'm not kidding. They know what timing means. They know when to be intense. They know when to withdraw. They know when to hit the price. Someone has literally told me before, like he said,
intelligence. Look at your countenance.
Yeah. He said, I will never use my money to buy anything. I was like, what do you mean? He said, yeah, I'll borrow money to do it. I was like, how? He said, don't you know I got rich from debt? I was
Leverage,
like, hold on. Like, this is a whole new information. I came from a background where they told us stay away from debt. But here you are telling me you need a minus on the front of your numbers for you to get a plus. He said, yeah. Then this guy started talking, and I was like, whoa, like, The credit card you are taking, the car you bought, the car notes, the mortgage and everything, someone is making money on your debt. Someone told you, I'll give you 300,000 to buy this house. That person went to borrow money for you just so that they can make money. I was like, oh, that is a whole new revelation for me, at that point. So the point I'm making is investment comes in so many forms. For financial investment, we have to be deliberate. And for us to really gain financial investment, it's not savings.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. Saving that
1K,
saving that
those
Life insurance.
life insurance. If no, actually, the life insurance are usually
there are some good ones.
They're
Oh,
good
life
ones
insurance.
because
There
I
are some
have
good
some.
ones,
There
yeah.
are some that I'm in,
but it's
whereby
not saving that $100 every
will
month,
give you
hoping that, bro, like in 5 years your 5,000 has lost value.
because it doesn't count with
Not in life
inflations
insurance.
and everything. Yeah,
Yeah, that's so life
That's
insurance.
true. Life
insurance
insurance does
insurance.
not-
Now
it
understand
goes
that
with
when you buy
inflations.
a life insurance, you are not putting your money in a savings account. You are giving that insurance company your money to go do business.
Absolutely. That's
That's
how,
true.
that's how
Yeah.
every bank
That's
works,
how-
Yeah,
right?
Right.
But
but
we
I
have to
think
remember.
on that insurance one, there's a reorientation that needs to go on the insurance. But what I just need to add on investment is, as a Christian, as a matured adult, look past the physical appearance of someone, because I see a lot of people tend to evaluate you based on your outlook before they key into your wealth of knowledge. And a lot of people have missed so much opportunities because of that. You have to, I don't know how to explain this, but just try to give everyone the benefit of doubt.
That's sure.
I could be driving a 2001 Camry or whatever, but I could have $1 million in my account.
I've seen that working
When I
at
used
the
to work
bank.
for Chase Bank, when I used to work for Chase
Most
Bank, there was
people
this-
don't have
when I used
pension.
to work for
Shoes are rough.
when I used to work for Chase Bank, there's this pharmacist that comes. You see him, very normal man. If you see his account, you will hold your head, you have your hand on your head. You notice the people that you need to look at, not because you saw the figures, but learn to accept people for what they look like and don't judge them. Because that person who just came in with the shorts and the slippers might be your next meal ticket. So that's what I just want to add.
That's very true. I wanted to say something. Even when I remember working at West Fargo, I don't know, competition. But I remember working at West Fargo, the people that you see that dresses like ordinary are those people who have money, and the ones that you see with the Gucci bag or the Prada, all those stuff, those are the ones with a negative account or restriction on their account. So it's kind of those things where you don't judge people by appearance. And that was how I learned one thing, is that everybody that I meet, there is something I'm supposed to learn or take from. So I have that open knowledge, the open mindset that this person, I don't know the relationship, how it's going to go, if it's just going to be but there's something I need to learn, or there's something I need to take from this person. So I have that perspective in all my relationships. So when we come to investment, I feel like we young ones, like, young adults, we don't do that. And that's the part when I said, working while we're young and investing while we're young. We don't do that. We want to do the flashing cars.
A lot of us are more
We want to stay in the apartments in downtown Dallas, where you're paying $1,800 or you're paying $1,900. You want to drive the fastest car. You want to leave up. You want to travel. You want to do all that stuff. There's no one saying that you cannot do that while you invest as well. But you have to understand that you start with all of these things first, because when you get to that point where you can no longer work anymore or do all of these things, you cannot now say, oh, I need to get a 401k, or I need to do retirement, or I need to do this. I remember, at my company, I was talking to my manager because the base pay are usually very low, but the benefits are very much. And she said something. She was like, so what do you put in? We were talking about like benefits and everything. I was like, yeah, I go about almost 50% into like my retirement. And she looked at me. She was like, at your age? She was like, oh, because usually like your age sets, they usually want to now put like for money in their 401ks or their retirements, because they're like, oh, I want to, because the base pay is so low, I want to get all the money that, you know, I can get for my monthly and stay in all this IRA. So it was like, wow, I never thought about it. I was like, because I'm thinking more of my future, because right now I might have some discomfort, but there is a little purpose of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. So at this point where I am, to be able to achieve some of the things that I've achieved, and people look at me and I tell them that you get paid more than I do. Like your salary, if we're talking about base pay, you get paid more than I do. But I just know how to kind of like be a stewardship when it comes to my wealth.
Girl, that's a different topic for tomorrow. When you see some people, and you be like, I'm sure this person has like $1 million. And they come asking you for money. You be like, yo, are you telling me you're not saving? So do you think the Gucci belt you're wearing is what's going to pay?
Right. So here is the thing. I think as believers, as Christians, and as young people, the true answer to your question or to this topic would be, let us make it a habit of going step by step. With investment, it's possible, but it's not just easy to jump steps. The first step is your emotional discipline, your emotional intelligence. You have to get that right. Like, because even if you have money, if you don't have emotional intelligence, you don't know when to let that money go or when to hold it back. I've been there before. This is not because I'm an unknower. I've been there before. Yes, I'm in charge of this decision to make that involves hundreds of thousands, right? It involves money, but at that point, my emotional intelligence was not there yet. And then I got emotional and made decisions just because of what I'm seeing now, right? But as time goes on, I now realize, like, dude, you just messed up. You could have just waited, right? And my mentor currently, he'll tell me, your mind does not do anything for you as far as investment goes. The numbers should be doing it for you. The numbers, they don't lie. The numbers don't lie. So calm down, do the number. If I watch a movie on Netflix today versus I watch a 15 minutes financial planning video, what is going to pay me more? Right? It's gotten to a point now where I just lose interest for movies. I don't know how to explain it. Like,
Lots of time, but could have invested that time doing something more productive.
Yeah, I just lost interest. So let's get it right and go. First step: start investing on yourselves emotionally, and then from emotionally start seeking for knowledge, start searching for knowledge, start reaching out. Let us go way beyond. Let us go way beyond our comfort zones. Let us be comfortable enough to see somebody say something online and be bold enough to pick up our phones and give them a call, even if we don't know them. Even if this person is not in America, this person does not speak English, let us just, I don't know how to say it, but these little moves, it will amaze you how many folks I've reached out to just by doing this. And then it helps you go outside of your comfort zone, outside of your circle. We remain in our circle, we'll never grow.
There are two things I'm going to add to that. If you're the wisest amongst your friends,
change your friend.
Change your friends. I'm not going to expatiate on that. If you're the wisest, just change your friends. Number two, as Africans, right, we need to break off of this mentality that everyone that comes to sell a product to us is out there to defraud us. Because that mentality has held us so bound that we're not able to be free to make investments, to take calculated risks. Because we just assume that everyone that comes that is a good marketer is there to defraud us. Trust me. In fact, that's a topic that should be spoken to a lot of young adults, or even the African generation, the older generation, the younger ones. A lot of people have held back their progress simply because they think that because I've come to sell you a product, I've come just to defraud you.
Yeah, it's discernment and doing researches as well too. Because when someone comes to me and say, "Hey, do this product," like I want you, like this is something I'm offering for you to do. It's not immediately you go based on the words. It's for you to go do the research yourself, see what's benefit. We have to learn to go the extra mile and stop being lazy. And I think that's one of those things when it comes to like being financial stable, and it's taking that step, it's taking that one step and say, hey, this is what I want to do, let me learn more about this, let me find people who are doing this, have conversations with others as well too. So I think once we do that, we would definitely be successful as a Christian and as individuals.
I definitely agree. And I love that you guys touched about relationships, because something we always hear that, your network is your net worth. You never know, who that can like give you access to something that you're interested in, or like, go into an investment or something like that. And then something else too is something that I always stand by is, start where you are, do what you can, and use what you have. I know what you mentioned earlier about like, sometimes people who are really rich, do really well off will make you feel intimidated, right? But it doesn't have to always be the case, because if you are, like you said, investing in yourself, like you are literally your biggest asset. If you are taking courses or, reading up on things that whatever you want to focus on, you can now be that person who people think that you are literally making billions of dollars, but because of your countenance, how you carry yourself, because of what you know, right? You don't have to be intimidated. So I think that's something that we all need to do as Christians, just to be more empowered with the Word of God that He has given us. Like I said before, like in the last episode, in Christ we have all things. We have confidence, we have prosperity, we have understanding, we have wisdom, we have all things with Him. So let's stop looking at others as greater than ourselves just because they have a certain thing that we don't have, because we have it.
That's true.
Right.
That is true. And I think I just wanted to say one more thing. I feel like our yardstick of how we measure ourselves or our wealth, it's not in the reflection of others, it's the reflection of God. Because because when we do that, we're able to achieve anything and everything that we put our minds into with the grace and with the power of God. Because when we start comparing ourselves with others or looking at others, we lose track of what our purpose or the direction that we're supposed to take. And that's one of the things when we find ourselves in financial difficulties, even with young adults, because we want to be like the next person or want to do that, not even knowing what the next person have already put in their storehouse. So we need to learn to just, use God as our measure stick.
I love that. But I want to also go back to investing, but I want to focus more on the money side this time, right? 'Cause I know we touched about, investing in yourself. And I want to ask, like, do you guys kind of, follow the Word of God when it comes to where you put your money? For example, I know the marijuana business is booming right now, okay? Would you invest in that? It's going to make you money, but does it make sense spiritually to do that?
Yes,
I want to hear your thoughts.
I'll invest in it.
Tell me why.
100%. Because marijuana is a natural herb. Yeah, we consume marijuana products anyway. If you consume it right, it's not a problem because it's a natural herb. But if it's abused, it becomes a problem. The same thing with what do you call it? Tobacco and all of that. If not consumed right. So, for example, cigarette. I will not support cigarette because cigarette has health disadvantages. I will not support it. So when we say marijuana, and I get where you're going now.
I want to ask, because like we know, obviously we're in Texas, marijuana is not legal here, but there are a lot of other states where it is legal to buy it already, like, cooked, where it's like it gets you high, right, and edible or something. Would you invest in that, or will you only invest in like the natural, like you're saying?
Responsibly, yes, I will invest in it, and that's why I said 100%. I will not invest in a weed joint, like.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what's the difference?
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's left for me to figure out how marijuana comes responsibly, right, to its consumer. They make them into different products these days. right? Where it's
Yeah,
not
the oil.
right, the oils, and it's not necessarily like you have to take it and become doused,
high.
get high with drugs. In that sense, show me the potential of this plant, and then I will invest. But I will not invest in marijuana from the
As a
perspective
drug.
as a drug
Okay.
to get someone high.
But that's where the stock market, so because I work a little bit on that aspect,
Yeah.
but that's where the stock market basically kind of does, because at the point now, if it becomes legal, because I know like some companies and stuff have not like, some investment companies have not, gone into that aspect of like trading on marijuana or, that kind of situation.
Right.
But regardless of how we spin it, because once it becomes legal, it doesn't matter, and it's already trading. It doesn't matter if it's used in a good way or in a bad way.
Exactly.
It's still it. So then I think it's more of the aspect of like, how can this be beneficial towards others in that aspect? Because even making it legal for me, I'm like, I don't really, because if human nature, we're going to abuse it. And that's just the part of it. We're going to abuse it.
But don't we abuse everything?
Well,
Sugar.
I was gonna say that. Just like the medications you buy, people abuse medication. So I think the debate on the marijuana, why they want to legalize it, because when it's easily accessible, something you're not holding back from anyone doesn't entice the person. That's where the debate's coming from. Like, let me make it accessible to everybody, so it doesn't become like a scarce commodity.
I think it's more like tax. I think it's more like taxes. Like
That's
the government
what it
is trying to make.
No.
Like they're trying to make money off of it.
No, that's one part of it. But now they want to make it legal, so like you can go grab it. Because if I can walk down the street to go get marijuana, I would not want to. This thing like you tell a child,
Adrenaline.
don't go there. They're inquisitive. They want to know why you're telling me not to go there. They want to go grab it. So that's what I'm saying. But in terms of investments,
Right.
do I invest? Yes, I'm a huge investor. I try to invest, to diversify my investments, in finance, in like different sectors. Because if you do your research properly, they'll advise you not to invest in just one particular sector.
Right, yeah, diversify your
You see what I'm trying to say?
portfolio.
You just go all around. But
What about marijuana?
do your research. No, in terms of marijuana, right? I understand it's yielding a lot of profit, but right now I'm not at that level where I'm convinced if I want to. So right now I'm indifferent about it. Will I put my money in it right now? I will tell you no. But will I put my money in an alcohol company, say Guinness, Nigerian breweries, or these other companies? Yes, I will, because I've worked there before. I know the ingredients that's been put in this thing. Right? So now it now tends to the people who now drink it that decide to, excessively do it and then get drunk.
So I have a question though. In the aspect of where we do that, are we then saying that we encourage the part of taking marijuana because we're investing in it, we're putting money, we're
That's what I'm
basically
trying to get
betting
to.
into the market that people would eventually take it?
Yeah, it's a very, very
Right, because you want it. Because you want to make money.
You want to
right?
make money. I
it's
want
a
you to
very
smoke. I
delicate-
want you.
It's a very delicate domain to tread on, because
This is real talk. We got to get into it.
Yeah, from the perspective you just talked about it, you know what they put into these products. But it doesn't matter what they put into it, it's what the outcome is, what
Right.
it does to people out there. So if I'm investing into it solely because, by my understanding, what we put in does not harm people, but it, like the people that take it anyway, they don't mostly have control over these things. And no, to hold back from somebody does not mean it will diminish, it will reduce the desire for me to. It's not, that's just the story they are telling us to make us feel good. Everybody now figures out there's money in marijuana, that's why they are going into it. So
Facts.
from a moral perspective, no, I will not involve myself in a product that will cause harm to someone else, like guns,
So what about like clubs, bars, like,
clubs, and
you wouldn't put your money there.
I wouldn't.
But those investments are very risky because the liability on those investments are very high.
Again, I'm not talking from a profit perspective. I'm talking from a moral point of view.
That's what. Yep.
Right, from a moral point of view, I will not do it unless I am sure this is going to come out right without having to hurt my judgment. We're out of time. I would have shared a story about an investment I tried to do way back home, and my dad. Okay, we can go. My dad actually told me. So there was a point where they started enforcing traffic regulations and all that, right, in Nigeria, and then I was in Benin. I have this weird character where I just make friends, right? Before you know it, I'd already made friends with some top guys in the transportation union, whatnot, and they gave me a slot to go get towing vans. They said, go get towing vans. We'll put those towing vans into use for you. We'll be balancing you every day. And then it was 30,000 naira every day. Like, this was way back. You know what 30,000 every day meant then? All you need is get a junk vehicle that can tow.
That's something.
But guess what they do then? You dare not slow down by the side of the road. Someone is coming to tow your vehicle. Someone will come and tow your vehicle, whether it's right
that was
or not.
Unethical, right?
Right. So, and I was excited. Again, this was a young, naive me. I was excited. And then my mom, my dad, and myself were driving one day, and I said this out. My dad laughed. And my dad was now like, if they use your vehicle to tow your mom's vehicle, how would you like it?
Don't you think that's a place of sentiments?
No, it's not, because I know the practice, the way these folks do it is not right.
Okay. I'm going to give a follow-up question. So would you invest in Facebook or Instagram? Now we understand a lot of things that go on social media. That's literally a legalized pornographic outreach, in my opinion. Now, you see what it does. We're talking about the outcome, right? We cannot control people.
Talking about how people do,
right?
Like,
we cannot control them. Now, you're investing in Facebook, which means that you're enabling them to carry out the business. But we understand that on Instagram, that's where you see a lot of negativity go on. A whole lot of people have learned fraud from there. People have learned prostitution from there. People have learned a whole lot. Likewise, people have learned to make millions of naira or dollars legitimately. Now, in terms of the outcome, would you invest in
No,
Instagram?
but that's the part though. So there's the pharmaceutical companies, right? You can invest in that use all this marijuana to be beneficial.
That's what I'm talking
but
about.
no, I understand. So invest in the pharmaceutical company because they've processed it, they're doing this. But now there is the part of cannabis whereby the marijuana is actually the stock like itself. It's cooked. Like it's not the pharmaceutical part of it. It's just on its own self, but not attached to anything.
But there are some people who used it to get high, to lower their anxiety. I used to have a friend that does that, and like that is legal for her to do that. So there's that aspect as well.
So to answer your question, if I invest in these technology firms, yes, I will, because the original intent by design was never.
But that's what I talked about the alcohol company.
So, no, alcohol is as old as humanity.
No, because even Maltina, get people high. You know what differentiates a Maltina and a Star is a fermentation that goes on.
Right.
So, it's an outcome. A lot of people have died. A lot of people have, gone into this other side of life through social media. So how do you, because people get intimidated when they log on to Instagram every day, and if they get a statistic of people that die every day based on what they see on social media, it's really high.
Right.
Really higher than marijuana.
Okay, so with that, unfortunately, we have to wrap up. But let us know down below in the comments if you guys want to see another part of this, because this is getting really juicy. But thank you guys so much for watching yet another episode of Young Adults Real Talk, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
So, speaking